Join us for an update of the Volkswagen Ateon family with the new Ateon shooting brake. Let's go! New upgraded Ateon comes either with a base trim, just called Ateon, then above that is Elegance or R-Line, so more sophisticated trim. That's also where you get the eHybrid, and then the top of the line model is here, the true R model, and it comes with a stronger lower bumper, also with more black accentuations. New is also that you have the LED strip right here that also has a middle part, so it seems to be that it goes all over the vehicle. And the lapis blue color, exclusive to the R model, one of 3 colors we have here for you today. A lot of variation here for you today. This is also the new shooting brake, but in King's Red, so different color. And this is here the R line, so without the strongest engine, but already with the sporty styling. You can see it here, for example, in this lower bumper, and also with the black accentuations. And this is how the so far Ateon looks like now with this facelifted version, now called Ateon Gran Turismo, or GT if you want to stay a little bit shorter. This one also being the Elegance trim. You can see it here with more chrome contrast, so less dark look, more chrome look, and also different color. This one here is called Eisvogel in Germany. That would be Kingfisher, or well, here we call it maybe Thomas Blue, because I like strong blue tones, you know, when you've subscribed to Autogefühl. 4.86 meters, 15 foot 9 or 191 inches is the length of the Ateon, 5 centimeters or 2 inches longer in wheelbase than the Passat. That is also affecting the rear legroom. Usually you would start base with 17-inch wheels, then Elegance and R-Line come with 18-inch wheels, and here the true R model, the sportiest one, comes with 20-inch wheels. You can see them also right here, also with a separate R logo, also bigger brake discs and the blue calipers. Again, the lapis blue color, contrasts in chrome with the side mirrors, and another R logo right there, and this new R logo styling. And then you can see here the shooting brake version has the difference right here, so it's the same length, but it has also a strong shoulder form, although it has this estate look. So this shooting brake concept, always something that is moving a little bit between worlds. And a 3/4 rear perspective, which is also a very beautiful perspective design-wise. And you can see here that designers really had a lot of effort to stretch the car and to make it look agile, although we have this lengthened roofline. I would like to hear from you guys. Do you find the shooting brake more beautiful than the GT? Or do you find the more classic approach a little bit better? And now the fastback, or now called the Gran Turismo or GT, you can see here the classic roof shape, which is of course in a way more elegant, but you can see the strong shoulders. This is actually quite similar both in this and also in the shooting brake. This one being the Elegance trim, you can also see it with the lettering right there. Some more bright styling, also with the chrome strap in the lower area. And with optional 19-inch wheels. Remember, 18-inch would be standard for Elegance, 19-inch optional. Here also in the bright styling, so you can really choose if you rather want a more elegant, brighter styling or a sportier, dark styling. And also the rear here first with the most impressive version, the Ateon R. The shooting brake here has, of course, a more upright rear, so it's not falling that far. And that is also, again, one of the design clues, because with the top wing and then this additional design element and also the line here, you have basically 3 steps, and that makes the car appear more upright and, let's say, a little bit more agile in the rear. And the rear of the Gran Turismo, here what I said here, of course, this falling window then, this is the main difference. But you can see that the upright elements here have been kept, from the Gran Turismo and then transported onto the shooting brake. Engines, let's start with the strongest one. 2 gas struts. here, left and right, and then there's no R engine cover, however, that was saved, but I can tell you the 2-liter TFSI turbo petrol engine, 4 cylinders and 320 horsepower. Yeah, that also tells us the horsepower figure of the new Golf R, definitely. So, good finding for today. Acceleration figure here for the Ateon will be about 5 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. An interesting thing is also all-wheel drive as standard. Front plus rear on demand. The more you power it out, the more torque will also be sent to the rear wheels. And then there's a new torque split between the rear axle, between the 2 wheels. So this torque vectoring function will have the effect that, for example, you can have more torque on the outside wheel, inside in the corner, and then it makes you move, out of the corner a little bit faster. And this is supposed to make the car more agile. So this is the new upgraded torque vectoring system here for the R models. This will also then follow for new R models. For example, we can also then expect it for the new Golf R. Very, very interesting. And as I said earlier, second big news is the hybrid, here so-called eHybrid. 218 horsepower system output, 1.4 TSI, 6-speed DSG made to an electric motor. 13 kilowatt hour battery now, about 50 kilometers or 30 miles of pure electric range, maybe a little bit less than depending on the situation. Let's take a test seat, see how the comfort is actually getting inside. And you remember that the Ateon R sits a little bit lower, but you still get the impression of a mid-size sedan feeling, so to say, although we have the shooting brake here and the seat gives you a little bit more side support, but it's still reasonably soft. And we'll also test the seating comfort with the other seat we have here today. But so far from the seat form, it actually gives me a good comfort impression at first hand. Steering wheel moved in a manual way right there, and the new steering wheel is actually quite cool. It looks quite fancy, also gives you a good grip. Yet again, these buttons here at the steering wheel, not really a fan of it, so you cannot really press them deep in there, but you still get a capacitive feedback when you have it on. So that's the thing. Now here again I have them illuminated, and then I also get the feedback, so to say. Not sure if you can maybe hear a little bit of that when I press it. And here again with the R mode button that I can get a sporty race mode at any time for overtaking and so on. And also steering wheel heating is a function that's of course very nice for winter days. As for the headroom, this is the same shooting brake and the Gran Turismo in the front. And with the 1.86 m or 6'1", there's still plenty of headroom left. There are also panoramic roofs available. However, more crucial will be the headroom in the rear. But let's first finish the interior in the front. First look at the R interior. We see sporty decor elements, for example. And I also want to tell you something more about the screen schematics. On the left side, 11.7-inch digital instruments, always now. And here on the right side, it starts here with this one, with the 8-inch screen. And this one still has knobs here for the volume and also for zooming in and out the map. And I think that's more practical, especially while driving. What about the rear? Here, first of all, soft touch at the inside of the doors, also at the rear. That's good. And then let's get inside, and there's plenty of legroom left. Wow, this is a great result indeed. So awesome space. And that's actually more than in some of the bigger premium competitors, for example. Here you have some bags at the back part of the seat. And this is the one without panoramic roof. And this leaves also a lot of headroom here in the rear. I now switch to the R line. Same seat, however, optional then. And this is then with the panoramic roof. And this gets quite close then headroom-wise. So you have to bear in mind, it still works for my size, no problem. But then again, when you have this panoramic roof, you lose some headroom. However, you get more light in the interior. And you can also open it. And it's always a lot of fun to drive, of course, in summer then with the roof open. It's actually quite wide here. And also then still the shooting brake here, so it's also available here, one for the shooting brake. Now the straight interior overview, this one here being the R line, and also the 9.2-inch screen, the bigger one, the optional one, R line, and in this case here also with a sporty decor element. Soon more details to each screen. First of all, in the lower area here, this one is the climate unit, which has capacitive style also, but big temperature display, and I still prefer manual knobs, but for a slider, this one is actually quite reasonable. So it works quite fast and easy. Same with the vent strength. Though we have criticized systems like this in the new Golf or the Leon and so on, and Volkswagen is also thinking internally about it now because of the negative customer feedback. But here in the Ateon, I think this is one of the best sliders here we've seen so far, at least. Then there's this very small cubby hole for inductive charging of your smartphone. The iPhone X, by the way, it does fit in there, but barely. 11.7 digital instruments. You can see you can zoom in and out with the thumb on the steering wheel then. So the screen, or the GPS map goes all over the screen, or a split screen like this. You can change the views or have them here. So you're quite flexible with these digital instruments. That's the coolest thing about it. Now shooting brake headroom with panoramic roof. You can see here for the rear passenger, it raises to the end again, and then I can still sit here very comfortably. It's no problem. Just when I would lean forward like this, but probably you don't do that while driving. So that's actually perfectly fine then. In comparison here, Gran Turismo now with the headroom, when I lean backwards, it very, very closely fits. So then I can maybe put a hand over my head, but that's the thing then, you lose then. But still, even if you go for the Gran Turismo, still tall people can sit in the rear. With 580 liters to 1,630 liters, the shooting brake here is 20 liters to 120 liters more capacity than the GT. Here flipping the logo, and then you open the hatch, and then you have a little bit more space and height especially. Oh, this is a Ateon bag, just a sample bag right here, so it's a very practical trunk. There is a loading sill here because they decided they want to offer more height instead of an even loading sill. That depends on if you put a floor cover in there. In this case, they just want to offer more height. I personally prefer more an even loading sill. What about you? But then again, you have more height here. And now to the conclusion for today with the new Volkswagen Ateon, this update, and the new body form, the Ateon shooting brake, together with the hybrid and the other. Well, so many new things here with the Ateon, so I think it has been a very interesting and diverse episode. First of all, I think the shooting brake concept, it makes it a little bit more practical, especially for rear passengers and also for the loading concept. However, the Ateon was practical already. It was some kind of hybrid, in the practical sense, because you had the interesting form, but already had this very practical opening, so something between sedan and the shooting brake. This one then being a real shooting brake, you have then some kind of a design Passat estate. And indeed, they also changed the interior a lot. They wanted to make the positioning a little bit different there. They wanted to have a wider span between the Passat and the Ateon, and I think they really achieved that. So we do have these new microfiber seats as well. We did not have them on location today, sadly, but we can maybe show that to you at a later stage. But the interior has a very good impression quality-wise. Yeah, the temperature sliders, we can surely discuss about that. But I can tell you they are also being discussed internally at Volkswagen. So maybe this will not be the end of this discussion there. Driving-wise, the driving itself won't change that much. It will also not be that different both from shooting brake and from the GT. With the DCC in the R, it will be stiffer definitely, sportier, and especially with this new torque split system, the torque vectoring system, this will be something very different, and maybe then the car will feel smaller than it actually is. Really looking forward, especially to drive the R version right here. I think we can still expect a lot from this vehicle. You can ask yourself if it makes sense that they invest even more in this project, because it's not, let's say, not the most successful, not the most important one for the brand. Then again, brand image is also something very important. And I mean, it's a very beautiful looking car. And it is also something, where I say, thinking outside the box, they're doing something which is not really that necessary. But maybe, about buying the cars, it's not always about what is necessary, but also what's beautiful. In this case, it can also be a little bit more practical, although you still have the beautiful styling. So a very interesting vehicle. Especially important will also be the new plug-in hybrid version, when you think about company fleet vehicles and so on, with tax reductions and so on, especially in Germany, a very important topic. So a lot of variation to talk about. I hope you join us in discussion. Tell us what you think about the new Ateon, updates in general, shooting brake version, hybrid R-Line. Which one would be your favorite? Tell us in the comments. See you next time.